There are moments in life when a single conversation has the power to change the way we see the world. Today, you are about to witness one of those moments. In a time filled with noise, confusion, and division, understanding has become a rare treasure. But this dialogue brings it back to the center. As we explore the remarkable similarities between Islam and Christianity, you will discover truths that often go unnoticed, values that connect billions of people, and a spiritual harmony that has existed for centuries. This is not just a discussion about religion. It is a journey into the heart of humanity, a reminder that beneath all our differences lies a shared foundation of faith, compassion, and purpose. Stay with us, listen closely, and allow this message to open your mind, touch your heart, and reshape your perspective. What you are about to hear may be more enlightening and unifying than anything you expected. The shared foundation of monotheism in Islam and Christianity forms one of the most significant points of unity between the two faiths. Both traditions center their belief on the existence of a single, all-powerful, all-knowing Creator who governs the universe with wisdom, justice, and mercy. In Christianity, God is understood as the sovereign Lord who created the heavens and the earth, sustains all life, and guides humanity through divine revelation. In Islam, this same foundational truth is emphasized through the concept of Tawhid, the absolute oneness of God who has no partners or equals and whose authority extends over every aspect of creation. This shared monotheistic belief shapes the moral, spiritual, and ethical framework of both religions, influencing how believers see themselves, how they relate to the world, and how they understand their purpose. Both faiths teach that God is not distant or indifferent, but deeply involved in the lives of His creation. He listens to prayers, responds with compassion, and guides individuals toward truth and righteousness. This relationship between the believer and the Creator is built upon devotion, gratitude, trust, and surrender to divine will. Worship practices in both religions reflect this closeness, whether through prayer, supplication, remembrance, or seeking forgiveness. Even though forms of worship may differ, the intention remains profoundly similar: to honor God, to seek His pleasure, and to strive toward a life grounded in spiritual awareness. This shared monotheistic foundation also influences their teachings on accountability and the afterlife. Both Islam and Christianity affirm that human beings will ultimately return to the Creator and be judged based on their actions, sincerity, and faith. The concept of divine justice, reward, and responsibility reinforces the moral compass that guides believers to live ethically and compassionately. Through this mutual belief in one sovereign God, both religions establish a spiritual connection that transcends cultural and historical boundaries, highlighting a truth that resonates deeply across billions of followers. Both Islam and Christianity emphasize a powerful set of shared moral teachings that guide believers toward living meaningful, responsible, and compassionate lives. These values are not only central to personal spirituality, but also shape the ethical foundations of families, communities, and societies. Among the most universally recognized teachings is the call to honesty. Both religions encourage truthfulness in speech and action, promoting integrity as a defining characteristic of a faithful person. Honesty is seen as a reflection of inner purity and a path to earning trust, respect, and divine reward. Charity stands as another core value woven deeply into both traditions. In Christianity, acts of generosity reflect the love and compassion taught by Jesus, who emphasized caring for the poor, the sick, and the vulnerable. In Islam, charity is formalized through concepts like zakat and sadaqah, which encourage believers to share their wealth, uplift the needy, and eliminate injustice. This shared emphasis on giving nurtures a sense of unity, social responsibility, and compassion for all of humanity. Kindness and patience are also essential moral expectations in both religions. Christianity teaches believers to love their neighbors, forgive those who wrong them, and respond to hardship with resilience. Islam similarly elevates patience, forgiveness, and gentleness as qualities beloved by God and necessary for maintaining harmony. These virtues help individuals navigate challenges with dignity, reduce conflict, and build stronger relationships. Justice is another fundamental principle shared by both faiths. Christianity upholds fairness, righteousness, and protecting the innocent as moral duties, while Islam highlights justice as a divine command that believers must uphold consistently, even when it is difficult. This shared commitment fosters environments where dignity, equality, and moral order are valued. These common moral teachings demonstrate that both Islam and Christianity aspire to cultivate individuals who act with integrity, compassion, strength, and responsibility, forming a moral bridge that connects followers of both faiths. Both Islam and Christianity share a profound reverence for many of the same prophets, which forms one of the strongest spiritual connections between the two faiths. These prophets are seen not simply as historical figures, but as chosen individuals who carried divine messages, guided nations, and set moral examples for humanity. Among them, Abraham holds a particularly honored place in both religions. In Christianity, he is celebrated as the father of faith, a man whose trust in God became a model for believers. In Islam, he is known as Ibrahim, a prophet of unwavering devotion who submitted fully to God's will and played a central role in the spiritual lineage that extends to generations of believers. Moses is another towering figure revered deeply in both traditions. In Christianity, Moses is recognized as a liberator, a lawgiver, and a messenger who delivered God's commandments and led his people toward freedom. In Islam, Musa is regarded as one of the greatest prophets, a man who communicated directly with God and called his community toward righteousness. His teachings and life story are mentioned frequently in both the Bible and the Quran, serving as reminders of leadership, patience, and the struggle for justice. Perhaps the most significant shared reverence revolves around Jesus. In Christianity, Jesus is central to faith and salvation, embodying divine love and teaching compassion, mercy, and forgiveness. In Islam, Isa is honored as a mighty prophet, born miraculously, blessed with wisdom, and sent to guide his people with truth. While the theological interpretations of his nature differ, the admiration for his character, teachings, and mission stands firmly in both religions. This mutual respect for prophets creates a spiritual bridge between Islam and Christianity, highlighting their shared roots. Through the stories, teachings, and legacies of these great figures, both faiths find common ground in devotion, moral guidance, and the pursuit of divine truth. The scriptures of Islam and Christianity, though distinct in their composition and historical development, contain strikingly similar moral lessons and spiritual messages that reveal a shared commitment to guiding humanity toward righteousness and truth. Both the Quran and the Bible emphasize the importance of living a life grounded in ethical behavior, humility, and devotion to God. Their teachings address universal challenges, such as injustice, suffering, arrogance, and moral confusion, offering guidance that remains relevant across generations and cultures. In many passages, the themes of compassion, forgiveness, patience, and generosity echo one another, demonstrating that both texts aim to cultivate individuals who reflect kindness, moral strength. The stories of prophets found in both scriptures further amplify these shared values. Figures like Noah, Abraham, Moses, and David appear in the Quran and the Bible, often conveying similar lessons about faith, perseverance, and trusting divine wisdom. Their experiences highlight the consequences of turning away from righteousness and the rewards of remaining steadfast in devotion. These narratives serve as powerful reminders of human responsibility and the timeless struggle between right and wrong, which both religions address with profound clarity. Prayer, worship, and remembrance of God are also central to both scriptures, reflecting a shared belief in maintaining a strong spiritual connection with the Creator. The Bible encourages believers to pray sincerely, seek forgiveness, and live with gratitude. The Quran similarly instructs followers to engage in prayer, reflect upon God's blessings, and strive for a pure heart. While the methods and rituals may vary, the underlying intention of spiritual discipline and connection remains remarkably alike. The alignment of these teachings shows that both scriptures aim to elevate human character, strengthen moral consciousness, and create societies built on justice and compassion. Through these shared messages, both Islam and Christianity demonstrate a unified commitment to guiding humanity toward a higher purpose and deeper understanding of the divine. Both Islam and Christianity place compassion and peace at the heart of their teachings, making these principles essential to understanding the true essence of both faiths. Compassion, in both traditions, is not simply an emotional response, but a moral duty that shapes how believers should treat one another. In Christianity, compassion is reflected in the teachings of Jesus, who emphasized love for neighbors, care for the poor, mercy toward enemies, and forgiveness even in moments of hardship. His life and words encourage believers to soften their hearts, uplift the vulnerable, and respond to cruelty with kindness. In Islam, compassion is equally central, as seen in the name Ar-Rahman, the most merciful, one of the core attributes of God. Muslims are repeatedly encouraged to show mercy, help those in need, and treat every human being with dignity, regardless of race, background, or status. Peace is also a foundational value in both religions. Christianity upholds peace as a blessing and a responsibility, urging followers to become peacemakers in their families, communities, and the world. Peace is portrayed as both an inner state achieved through faith and an outward expression that shapes how believers interact with others. Islam, similarly, holds peace as a defining characteristic of its message. The very word Islam is derived from salam, meaning peace, and practicing the faith involves promoting harmony, preventing harm, and resolving conflicts with justice and patience. The Quran and teachings of the Prophet emphasize reconciliation, forgiveness, and gentle behavior as pathways to maintaining societal peace. Both religions reject unnecessary violence and encourage believers to resolve disputes with fairness and understanding. Their shared focus on compassion and peace demonstrates that the true intention behind both faiths is the betterment of humanity, that prevent individuals from appreciating the shared moral values, mutual respect for prophets, and the common belief in one God that both religions uphold. These distorted ideas not only divide communities, but also distort historical truths and ignore centuries of coexistence and intellectual exchange between Muslim and Christian civilizations. In reality, both faiths promote peace, kindness, justice, and compassion, but these teachings are often overshadowed by isolated events or misleading portrayals. Media narratives tend to focus on conflict rather than harmony, giving the false impression that Islam and Christianity stand in contradiction. This selective representation prevents people from recognizing the countless examples of cooperation and dialogue that have taken place throughout history. Such misconceptions can shape public opinion, influence social attitudes, and create unnecessary tension between communities that, at their core, share profound spiritual connections. Education and sincere dialogue play essential roles in overcoming these misunderstandings. When individuals take the time to explore the scriptures, traditions, and values of both faiths, they often discover far more common ground than differences. Recognizing these connections helps build mutual respect and reduces the fear or mistrust that stems from ignorance. The reality is that Islam and Christianity, when understood through their authentic teachings, Both aim to uplift humanity, promote moral integrity, and encourage peace. Clearing misconceptions allows believers and non-believers alike to appreciate the shared heritage of these two great religions and embrace a more balanced, compassionate, and informed perspective. When we look closely and honestly at the teachings of Islam and Christianity, we discover that the distance between them is far smaller than many assume. Both faiths call us toward integrity, compassion, justice, and devotion to the one Almighty Creator. They honor the same prophetic figures, promote peace as a guiding principle, and offer nearly parallel moral frameworks designed to uplift humanity. The similarities we uncover are not accidental or superficial. They are reflections of a shared spiritual heritage that runs deep within human history. By recognizing these connections, we open the door to understanding, respect, and unity, foundations upon which stronger, kinder, and more harmonious societies can be built. This journey of discovering common ground is not merely an intellectual exercise. It is a reminder of our shared humanity, our shared values, and our shared responsibility to build a world defined by truth, dignity, and peace. Thank you for taking the time to explore these meaningful insights with such openness and sincerity. May your work continue to inspire minds, open hearts, and bring people closer to understanding and unity. I wish you the very best of luck in your efforts. May your message reach far, resonate deeply, and bring positive change wherever it is heard.